Good afternoon. It's Saturday and it's the afternoon, and I am making another late video because I went out this morning swimming with my friend, and um, we went to the ocean and it was wavy, and we had a great time and we splashed in the waves and it was very invigorating. And I thought I was going to get really cold, and in fact, I feel now just incredibly warm, so I'm taking my socks off now. Um, and yeah, it's been a very, very tiring week. I've been interviewing people for jobs. I've been doing a lot of work for school. Work for school has been quite a high challenge, because I'm a head teacher and I'm a head teacher with ADHD. Um, I think when I did some really brilliant training with my local authority on management a while back, it was talking about how you switch off. And I remember people saying, I close my laptop lid and I walk out at the end of the day, and that's the end of my working day. And I went, yeah, but what about that internal laptop? And they were like, what? And I kind of thought, oh, not everyone's like me then. And I think the ADHD for me is like the internal laptop that is very difficult to switch off. And that's what I've been struggling with a bit, I think, because there are quite a few, um, I'm not going to say problems, but just situations that need creative solutions in school. And my brain just wants to work on finding those solutions all the time, even if it's 10 o'clock at night when I'm sitting on the sofa with my husband and meant to be doing some of, the kind of sitting on the sofa and watching the news and engaging with conversation, or even if it's on the treadmill when I'm supposed to be doing exercise and switching off. So that's been the challenge. And it's something that I'm just constantly trying to work on. And um, what I have discovered is really it's hard to switch off that kind of internal laptop. And really, the only way is doing something that's so physical and requires everything to be engaged, that my overthinking can't happen. And so I've talked about singing. That's one, definitely. I find it there've not been many occasions where I've done singing in the mornings where I've been drifting off into something else. Not many. There've been a couple where I've kind of done it on autopilot, but not so much. Yoga doesn't do that for me, because yoga, I can go through all of the movements, and the muscle memory does it for me, but the brain is going. So the singing is good. Swimming in the sea is good because it's just like you're literally surviving. So you don't really have time to think about or worry about your improvement plan or the email that you didn't send. There is still the challenge then of kind of the rest of the time, and like a Saturday afternoon, like now, it's like I'm really, really tired, but I'm probably going to get on and do a few emails just because otherwise there's that kind of anxiety of like, well, there's that work to be done and I need to do it. And that's the tricky bit, I think. And that's the tricky bit for teachers and for head teachers, is that there always is more to be done. But for head teachers, it's like it could be actually something that is, really essential. It could be like one of those the buck stops with you type things. So for me, it's constantly about appraising and looking at, right, what are the real priorities and what are the things that could wait till later? What are the things that I have to be able to say I've done, and what are the things that I'm going to be able to say I'll get back to you on that. Um, so yeah, that's been the week really. And what I have to remember is ADHD is a condition, a disability that messes with your executive function. So my time management is harder than other people's time management. Um, Although it is weird because it's like, people see me as hugely efficient and effective, and I think when it comes to work I am. But as I've said before, it's the downtime then that it's like, whoa, whole afternoon, what am I going to do? And then the anxiety starts to build up, and it's like, oh, I'll just do some work because that'll help the anxiety to go away. And I think it's important to know all of that and to recognize all of that, and to not see it as kind of as anything else, really. However, in spite of all that, I'm still constantly aware that I need when I'm making those choices and prioritizing, it's there that it's like when my values kick in. It's like the child at the center, doing the right thing for the children and the families, making sure that I'm really thinking about the real drivers in education, the real drivers for me. So there we go. What a waffle. Someone watched my video last week and liked it when I said that I'm waffling. I kind of am, but I'm also processing, and I'm doing it out loud because I think actually it might help other people to understand that this is a bit of ADHD, is actually needing to talk things out and talk things through. And when we've got children at school who that chattiness that you sometimes see in ADHD, that's a necessary thing. And so actually sometimes just allowing that kind of, I'm just going to talk it through, I'm going to talk it out, is actually really helpful to them. And the flip side of that is often in schools, we don't really have the capacity to allow individual children to do that. And one of my kind of real challenges as a head teacher is to look at that really meeting the needs of every child, and how we are giving that when it's needed. And we are, in a class of 20 children, how do we find the 20 kind of individual ways of doing and being that they need in what might be a small building with limited adults? And I think that is the real challenge of what we face. And as I said before, there's a national conversation about Scottish education going on, but actually, yeah, we can do our research, and we need to do research. We need to have research-based practice, but actually, we need to also go back to the basics, which is how do we do the best for every individual child in the best way we can with the resources we have, and not make it all so uniform that actually it's just delivery to the mass. And there we go. So I suppose it's always good to come back to Ken Robinson, and everyone loves his TED talk. And yes, he's very sadly passed away, but there's lots of us who've said things similar to Ken Robinson since, and have been saying them since he made that fantastic TED talk video. And I guess it's about just coming back to those things again and again, and looking at, well, could they be refined a bit? Well, maybe they could, but yeah, there we go. What is that? That is just I don't know, it's partly a presentation on education, it's partly my brain dump, it's partly me just saying how it is for me this week, and that's, I suppose, where it is. My lovely dad has had his knee operated on this week, and I'm a little bit worried because he's still in the hospital, but he's going to be fine. And my two children have been in Glasgow for concerts, and that's weird as well, because it's like, wow, they're not going to be, we're not going to be a family of four for much longer, and that's interesting. That's been interesting. And what else? Yeah, that's it really. So there we go. I'm going swimming again tomorrow. I will be doing more singing. I do feel tired. I feel very physically discombobulated and tired, and like I need a rest, and a bit like that. But then that comes and it goes again. So that's me, ADHD, HT, LC, checking out for today. And stay well, stay safe, and keep in touch. Bye for now.